I necessarily involve Dr. Aftab in that. He's very methodical, he's very sensitive, sincere, and in fact, very sensible as well. So, the topic, in fact, that I have given to Dr. Aftab is Indian methods of pedagogy. So, the moment we listen to the term pedagogy, immediately Western ideas of pedagogy, Western methods of pedagogy come to our my mind. But if you see, we have a large and very glorious history of our own methodology, of our own pedagogy. So, in fact, in this session, Dr. Aftab will throw light on those pedagogies, particularly which were originated in India and which have a lot of implications for us as a teacher in the classroom. So he will be focusing on those pedagogies one by one. So I'm sure that you will enjoy his session. So with this brief introduction, I'm handing over the session to Dr. Aftab. And I request Dr. Aftab to please wind up in 1 hour, because we have to
Sure,
conduct a test for these participants.
sure,
So,
sir.
Dr.
Sure. I'll try
Aftab,
my
it's
level
over
best.
to you. It's over to you, Dr. Aftab.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, first of all, I would like to congratulate you for selecting this topic. And I would also like to thank the coordinator of this program, Professor Sari Jamal sir, for researching this topic, that is Indian methods of pedagogy. Because the roots of all methodology, when I was going through the literature and material to prepare for this topic, I find out that roots of all the Western pedagogy and method of teaching comes from one or other way from the Indian method of pedagogy. First of all, I will try to discuss with some points. That is, I will introduce what is pedagogy and what pedagogy is. Then I will discuss the pedagogy approaches. What are the pedagogy approaches? Assumption of pedagogy, Western thought on pedagogy. Then I will discuss in detail Indian perspective on pedagogy, Indian methods of pedagogy, and implication for teachers side by side. And I will conclude with your suggestions and with your opinion that what implications of these pedagogy, that is Indian pedagogy, in the today's context when we are entered in the 21st century. Without any delay, I would like to discuss what pedagogy is. Basically, pedagogy is a term that refers to the method how teachers teaches in theory and in practice, in both the way how we interact with our students and what method we apply to deliberate the topic, to discuss the topic. Pedagogy is formed by an educator's teaching belief and concern the interplay between the culture and different ways of to learn. That same topic can be taught by a different pedagogy by a teacher, and same topic can be taught by different pedagogy by different teachers. But the effects will be the same. In the order to help a student build on prior learning, meaningful classroom relationship must exist. This is the one of the basic premise of the pedagogical aspect. Pedagogy describes the art and science of teaching students. Art science is because the systematic arrangement of the topic, systematic arrangement of the text and materials. The term comes from the Greek word pedagogos, a combination of pedos, that is child, and egos, that is leader. How to lead them and how to give them the material through the different science and arts methods. Pedagogy in teaching can be referred to as a educator's understanding of how the student learn. Pedagogy demands classroom interaction between the teachers and students, which creates a significant impact on the learner's mind. Pedagogy enables teachers to understand the best suitable practice for classroom setting. It helps them to know how different students learn. How different students means, dear participants, how the individual difference exists in the classroom and grasp the information. It is likely to improve the quality of teaching and the way it received by the students. It means that pedagogy plays a very crucial role, that how you interact with the students and how the student receives your information in an effective manner. Thus, pedagogy plays an important role to help teachers to understand the best way to conduct the classroom. Until unless we are not able to know the pedagogy of teaching and pedagogy of teaching subjects, different subjects, we cannot teach effectively in the classroom. It gives them I mean, it gives the teachers insight into how students learn differently in different topics, because you cannot teach the all topics in the same pedagogical aspect, in the same pedagogical skills. You have to adopt different pedagogical skills for teaching different topics and different subjects and disciplines, so that they can be conduct lesson to suit these needs. If you have different, if you have the science teaching, you have to teach in different pedagogical skills, and if you are teaching the language, you have to adopt the different pedagogical skills. It aims to improve the quality of education for students. In totality, we can say that the aim of the pedagogy and adopting the pedagogy to teach different subjects is to improve the quality of teaching for students. What is teacher's pedagogy? What is teacher pedagogy refers to the pedagogy that is centered toward the teacher. If we say that a teacher pedagogy, it means the pedagogy that is directly or indirectly centered toward the teacher, who give the most meaningful course information. In this approach, the teacher has a large responsibility to give correct information to the students in the right way. Meaning thereby, the information must be correct and the right way should be adopted. If the information is correct, but the method is not correct, the information will not be disseminated, not be transferred to the students. Meaning thereby, I can say here that आप कितने भी मतलब आप कह सकते competent हैं teaching में, but you don't know the pedagogical aspect of teaching, your teaching will not be effective. Surely, I'm sure that until unless you don't know the skill of teaching, you don't know the pedagogical aspect of teaching, your all the mastery over the subject will be kept aside, irrespective of their teaching styles. जो भी style आप adopt करें, until unless you are not able to know pedagogical aspect, the teachers can give a clear understanding of how the students are doing concerning their learning, and also be effective model for the target of language. Meaning thereby, teacher must know about each and every student of the classroom, and they also know how they are learning the different type of subjects or discipline and different type of language in which they are teaching. What are the pedagogical approach? Just see how the constructivist, first of all, the constructivist approach. The students are allowed to be present in the process of understanding and gaining knowledge rather than just passively receiving information. This is called constructivist approach, in which the students are involved. You can say that different method we will discuss later on, but this is the pedagogical approach, and first pedagogical approach is constructivist approach, in which the teacher and student both are engaged in learning the new things, that gaining the knowledge rather than just passively receiving the information. This encourages critical thinking among the students and gives a learning environment in which they can connect with what they are hearing. So I mean to say, they first of all, this constructivist approach gives the critical thinking among the students, and another one is they can connect the what they are hearing and what they are learning with both. That approach is known as constructivist approach. Now, the another one approach of pedagogy is collaborative approach. The students from groups of learners that learn together and work to solve a problem. Meaning thereby, when we are conducting any group activities, build strategies, ideas, create products, or complete a task in a group, this is a joint intellectual effort. Means 5 and 6 students are made a group, and by the students among themselves or with the help of the teachers, they can come at a conclusion with the collaboration of these all the group members. It's called collaborative pedagogical approach. Integrative approach. For the integrative approach, the students are given a learning environment that helps them in connecting with their learning across the syllabus. For the fourth objective of the integration includes understanding the process of learning, differentiating issues by relevance, what is the important and what is not important. They have ability through integration that what is important and what is not important and their relevancy, making use of the lessons in practical scenario. And the last objective of the integration includes associating the concept in regular lives. Meaning thereby, just to give the example for their daily life and integrate with the topic, with the subject, with the lesson. That is the integrative approach. Reflective approach. As per the reflective approach, the students are expected to evaluate themselves, what they have received, what they have learned, and they have to evaluate themselves. It means observing the activities of the teachers and other students in the classroom, analyzing why they do it and how it works. This is basically reflective approach, from the reflection from the others and their own experiences. If they will do this, they will learn that aspect. If they will not do this, they cannot learn that aspect. If they analyze, they reflect their of the activities of others as well as the activities of the student teachers, they will also learn and they will also expected to evaluate themselves. And the next one is inquiry based learning. In the inquiry based learning method, the educators and are expected to not just answer the queries or question of the students, but also build a culture where their ideas are explored, challenged, improved, and defined. Meaning thereby, the such kind of environment is provided in the classroom that students not only ask the question, but they have guts to challenge the answer of the teacher and the answer of their peer group, and give the new ideas and refine ideas and explore the improve answers. It aims to take the students from the position of wondering about a question to the understanding the answer and then questioning in future further. Meaning thereby, when we say what, why, and how, it gives the inquiry based learning. क्या है, क्यों है और कैसे है. When the students are able to know the answer of these three questions, they come under the inquiry based learning. There are the four assumptions of pedagogy. The first assumptions of pedagogy is the best way to encourage student to learn is through use of rewards and punishment. एक तो ये assumptions है. दूसरा, experience and perspective of the students is to be taken into consideration while teaching. Experience and perspective of a student is to be taken into consideration while teaching. This is also one of the assumption of the pedagogy. Learning is directed and controlled by environment. Learning is directed and controlled by environment. And the last one is learning needs to be solely centered around textbook. These are the some assumptions of the pedagogy. Now I have selected some Western thought, and I will just give a glimpse of this thought. I mean, pedagogical aspect of idealism, naturalism, and pragmatism, and then I will switch over to the Indian pedagogy and Indian method of pedagogy, and we will discuss on detail over there. Robert R. Rusk of the University of Glasgow explained that there are three great schools of philosophical thought which give Western thought of the on pedagogy. That is idealism, naturalism, and pragmatism. Let's see in a brief what is idealism. I know that I expect that you must be knowing about the meaning and concept of these, but I will give in a different aspect, that is pedagogical aspect of these three philosophies. What is idealism and what idealism is? As we know that idealism emphasizes mind as in some sense prior to matter. Idealism thus implies and denial that word is basically a great machine to be interpreted as a matter, mechanism, or energy alone. Basically, idealism is a word view or a metaphysics which holds the basic reality consists of or is closely related to the mind, ideas, thought, and selves. Basically, idealism talks about the wisdom and mind, ideas, and thoughts. The definition given by I will give you Datta and J.S. Ross. Idealism holds that ultimate reality is spiritualism. And similarly, J.S. Ross defined idealistic philosophy takes many and varied forms, but the postulate underlying all this is the mind or spirit is essential word stuff, that the true reality is of mental character. Basically, this is the definition of the idealism. Let's see what idealism and pedagogy is, and what is the method of teaching according to idealism. The method of teaching used by the idealist teacher is not based on logic and fact. The idealist emphasizes experience rather than nature, the self rather than facts. The main objective of idealist teacher is to help his students to obtain a deeper insight than what he already possesses, and to realize that behind all these experiences, there are the attractive and inviting depth which he can attain for himself, leading to the further insight. Meaning thereby, in idealist philosophy, in idealist pedagogy, the objective of the idealist is given emphasis on to go deeper and deeper to in the search of knowledge. Now, the definition and what is naturalism? Definition we see to make meaning of naturalism more clear, we give some definitions are as under. Naturalism is a system whose silent characteristic is the exclusion of whatever is spiritual. This is just against the idealism, I can say. Whatever the spiritual or indeed whatever is transcendental of experience from our philosophy of nature and man. This is said by Joyce. Again, R.B. Pere says that naturalism is a not science, but an assertion about science. More specifically, it is the assertion that scientific knowledge is final, leaving no room for extra scientific or philosophical knowledge. What the science says, that is the more important, rather than what the ideas and mind says. What is teaching method according to the naturalism or the naturalism and pedagogy? Naturalism makes a child the supreme center of all educational procedure. The techniques of education must be determined according to the child natures and child growth. Meaning thereby, there is no role of teacher. I will say that there is no active role of teacher as far as teaching learning process in the classroom is concerned. Naturalism has formally established the three great modern principles of teaching: principle of growth, principle of pupil activities, and principle of individualization. Meaning thereby, let the pupil growth, they let the student do their own work according to their own way. We have to just observe what they are doing, let them do what kind of activities they are doing. We have to just facilitate them in their natural setup, and every individual have their own individuality and their own natural phenomena and characteristic. That is individualization. Now, this is the last and third philosophy, that is Western philosophy, philosophy of pragmatism. Philosophy of pragmatism is mainly American concept. The word pragmatism has been derived from the Greek word pragmatikos, which means practicability or utility. This philosophy says that there is nothing permanent. What is truth today is not important that it will be truth tomorrow also. What was the truth yesterday, that is not true today. Thus, the philosophy of pragmatism is founded on the principle that first the activity or experiment is done, and then on the basis of the result, principle or ideas is derived. Pragmatism is temper of mind and attitude. It is also a theory of nature of ideas and truth. But finally, it is theory of reality. Pragmatism offers us a theory of meaning and theory of truth of knowledge and the theory of reality. The ideology does not uphold the outdated, lifeless, and rigidly traditional method of teaching. Pragmatists believe that mind of different children are different. Hence, a certain fixed method of teaching cannot be used to all, like naturalism, like idealism, or the method of teaching according to idealism or naturalism is not applicable for all children. Each and every children have their own individuality. Therefore, they have to teach according to their individuality. Pragmatists have laid down the following principle according to which teaching method may be devised and formulated. Principle of learning by doing means हर बच्चे को फ्रीडम होनी चाहिए कि वो अपने हिसाब से चीजों को करे. Principle of purposive process of learning, each and everyone their own purpose of doing the work, and principle of integration. These three principles are given by the pragmatism, and on these basis, the pragmatism supports of the teaching or pedagogical methods. Now, Dear participants, we will go towards the Indian perspective on pedagogy. That was the Western pedagogy. I was just giving uh, the hint that how the all the pedagogical aspects are based on the Indian perspective on pedagogy. First, see some presumptions of pedagogy about Indian. Human growth takes place by means of natural process, supported or aided by certain deliberate process and methods. Human growth implies increasing self-consciousness, development of skills and faculties, and the capacities required to meet the challenges of life and the cultural context in which one is required to meet the demands of the individual collective life. And another perspective presumption is at the deeper level, human growth is aided by the development of arts, science, and technologies that enable the individual to collectively to build a bridge between the past and future. Meaning thereby that is development of arts, sciences, and technologies. These are the basics of our development of human being or the human civilization. Future through the accumulation of the experiences and transmission of the valuable lessons from that experiences to the growing generations. What we have experienced that we learn from our past experiences, and sometimes we learn from our forefathers. Increasing effectively of educational process depends on the degree to which natural process of growth and deliberate process of growth are blended harmoniously. Uh, Increasing effectively of the growth process and depends on the degree of which a natural process. Both the harmony of both growth and development is basically the deliberate process of growth are blended harmoniously. Deliberate process that are employed for aiding human growth requires to be constantly subtle and so that process of growth attain increasing acceleration at a optimum level, which may differ from individual to individual and from collectively to collectively. Dear participant, with these presumptions of the pedagogy of our Indian perspective of pedagogy, I have selected some ancient and I can say the Indian methods of pedagogy, which we were using in our ancient time. And the first uh, method, or we can say the vidhi, that is Vyakhana vidhi. This Vyakhana vidhi is explanation of rule or a line or a verse by analyzing the rule and giving the examples and counter examples. Vyakhana, as we know that it is a Sanskrit word that is Vyakhanam, is a kind of explanatory exposition used to explain or store and expressions that are in sutras. In ancient time, basically this vidhi was and this method was used to express the various sutras or short trace aphorism found in Sanskrit literature. Different kind of exposition have different characteristics regulated by some principle. This is the very popular method at that time, just to give different slokas and sermons in a Vyakhyan, or you can say this Vyakhyan vidhi or Vyakhyan method. Now, when to use in our teaching learning process? The context of the Vyakhyana is and Vyakhyana vidhi is the lecture method this is a kind of lecture method of today's is an ideal transmitting information. Means this Vyakhyana method was used to transmit the information from one generation to another generation. Transmit the information of our religious text to the uh, coming generation is children or people. Thus, Vyakhana may be appropriate when information is not readily available to the students from another source. When the students are not able to receive the information or the knowledge, or you can say the jnana, this method is most suitable and this method is most important to transmit the information from one generation to another generation. And the next point is the teacher needs to highlight relationship and point that students may not recognize. Through this vidhi or with this method, teacher is capable and teacher is able to establish and highlight the relationship at that point which a student may not recognize. It means the students are unable to recognize the those information which are not available easily and which are not able, they are not able to establish the relationship between any point of their knowledge. And this method plays a very important role for establishing the relationship, highlighting the relationship between any 2 points, or recognizing them before the student. Vyakhyana Vidhi is also important to deepen the students' motivation to learn additional information. Whatever the Vyakhyana is given by the teacher or the guru to the Shishya, that deepen more and motivate the student to go for additional knowledge. Because textbook or the book is it limit our knowledge. We cannot go beyond that. But when a teacher will give a Vyakhan in the classroom, give a adopt the method Vyakhana method in the classroom, he not only confined to the knowledge which is written in the in the textbook or in the their पाठ्य पुस्तक, but they also give beyond that. इसीलिए कहा जाता है कि the duty of teacher is to teach what is written between the line in the textbook, and we know that cannot studied by the students. दो लाइनों के बीच में क्या लिखा हुआ है, I mean just it can be possible transmit through the व्याख्याना विधि, कि दो लाइनों के बीच में जो खाली जगह है उसका क्या सेंस है, उसका क्या मतलब है, उस लाइनों का क्या मतलब है. It can be only possible through the व्याख्याना विधि, and that can be given by the teacher. Depend, and if there is a need to correct a misunderstanding of the doctrine, it can be possible only through the व्याख्याना method. Explaining, or you can say the illustrating, whatever the method, or what in different way you can explain the whatever the religious texts are there, your textbooks are there. It can be only possible through the Vyakhana method, because there is a scope to deliver the so many things in your Vyakhana vidhi. Teacher's personality is best seen in this Vyakhana method or lecture method, because teacher's personality जो है वो सिर्फ इसमें ही impressive or you can say the effectiveness लाई जा सकती है, because other methods में teachers and students are not having the equal participation, but in this method they have the teacher have the upper hand and dominant role as far as the Vyakhana vidhi is concerned. Let's see what is the role of teacher in Vyakhana vidhi. First of all, he has to deliver with a full communication skill. It develops not only his own communication skill, but it also disseminates the communication skill to the students. That also give the creative skill to make understand the students in different ways, in different perspective about the same point or about the same topic. That can be only possible through the Vyakhana vidhi. And in time management skill, the role of teacher is to manage the time, because teacher is giving the Vyakhyan and he knows when I have to stop and when I have to go beyond the time. So this is also time manage skill, class management skill. Through Vyakhana, you can manage also class. You can ask anyone question. You can cover the whole class through this method. This is the role of teacher in Vyakhana vidhi. Now this is the Prashnottara vidhi. It's a very common vidhi, and very common we use question answer method. A verses consisting of question and answer. Prashnottara in the Sanskrit language is related to the Prakriti word Prashnotta. Panchotta, it is a Prachotra, it is basically Prakriti word, and from there the word Prashnottara is derived. A set of method used by teachers when asking question. In this method, basically, when we talk about the Prashnottara method, teacher asks so many questions, and through this questioning, he tried to clear the doubts of the students. He tried to emphasize his teaching and learning process. He tried to make effective his teaching, such as weight, time, and bounds. Experienced teacher recognize the power of question, because those who have a long and checkered experience of teaching, they know how to use this method. They know whom to ask which type of question. As we know that there are the individual difference in the classroom. Every student is not equal. And if we ask the very tough question, a higher order question, with a very weak students, I think this is the wastage of time. Why you are asking the very higher order question, and moreover you are discouraging to the student. In the same way, you are asking a very low order question to a very brilliant student, again, this is like joke. You are asking a very silly question, a very simple question to a very brilliant student of your class. So this method can be only used if a teacher have a long experience and recognize the power of questions. When skillfully delivered questions boosted student engagement, because when you are asking question in a sequential manner from 1 to 3 students, it will not be more effective. Because when you are asking the question in random method, in random way, if each and every student of your class will be attentive. So again, the matter of and the problem of discipline will be solved, because anyone can think, anyone can be asked the question. So the whole class will be attentive. That's why when it's skillfully delivered, question boost student engage, improve understanding and promote critical thinking. जैसे कि आप क्वेश्चन जब पूछते हैं तो सारे क्लास अटेंटिव हो जाती है, और जब आप इस तरह से पूछते हैं कि कब किससे आप पूछ दें, ये किसी को नहीं पता होता है, तो और ज्यादा अटेंटिव हो जाती है क्लास, और साथ साथ डिसिप्लिन भी हो जाती है, एंड दे स्टार्ट एंगेजिंग हिमसेल्फ इन टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस. और क्वेश्चन पूछने से कुछ बच्चे ऐसे होते हैं जो शाई नेचर के होते हैं, जो बहुत ज्यादा वोकल नहीं होते हैं, दे नेवर आस्क क्वेश्चन. बट इफ यू आर यूजिंग दिस मेथड, प्रश्नोत्तर विधि, such kind of students will be able to improve their understanding. They will be also know the answer without asking question, and promote critical thinking. It also improve the critical thinking of the students. When we use the Prashnottara Vidhi, that is through thoughtful questioning, teachers can not only extract the function information but help learners to connect the concepts. When we are asking question, we connect the concept, and when make inferences from one question आंसर से, एक क्वेश्चन के आंसर से हम दूसरे क्वेश्चन को क्रिएट कर लेते हैं, फिर उससे उसके आगे के सवाल पूछ सकते हैं. थिंक क्रिएटिवली एंड इमेजिनेटिवली. क्वेश्चन आंसर या प्रश्नोत्तर विधि से वी जस्ट create and we just try to make students to be creative and imaginative. क्या इसका जवाब हो सकता है? If they know very less, they can complete it with their creativity and imaginative aspect. Think critically. They are able to think critically, explore deeper level of knowing, thinking, and understanding. Question, answer, or you can say the Prashnottara Vidhi of the ancient India. They give a chance to the student. They give an opportunity to the students to go for knowledge deeper and deeper, and thinking and understanding about the topic, about the subject. What teacher can do through the Prashnottara Vidhi? Prashnottara Vidhi is a critical in supporting meaningful discussion. Standards identify the role of teacher in Prashnottara Vidhi, which plays in a classroom. Teacher use Prashnottara in order to help students work together to make sense of the subject and topic. Help students rely more on themselves to determine whatever something is subject-wise or topic-wise correct. Help students learn to reason about the subject and topic. Focus on helping students learn various aspects of subject and topic and solve problems. Help students to connect the subject, topic, ideas, and its application. Through this method, these all activities, and you can say these all role of the teachers play during his Prashnottara Vidhi when he conduct in the classroom. Samvad Vidhi. Samvad means, and we know dialogue. A dialogue is a conversation between two or more people. In other words, the conversation of two persons is called conversation and speech or dialogue. The general meaning of dialogue is conversation between the Vasudev and Narada initiated the concept of Samvad or Samvadam. नारद और वासुदेव की जो कन्वर्सेशन होती थी, बेसिकली कई जगह ये पाया गया है कि वहां से इस संवाद विधि की शुरुआत होती है, और उसमें जो उनका एक दूसरे को बात करने का जो अंदाज था, वो अंदाज बेसिकली संवाद विधि में इनकॉर्पोरेट किया गया है. संवाद डायलॉग इज ए रिटन और स्पोकन कन्वर्सेशन एक्सचेंज. ये दोनों तरीके से हो सकता है, बिटवीन टू और मोर पीपल. को जोड़ने की दो ही लोग हों, एंड इट लिटरली and theoretically from that depicts such an exchange of ideas and their own dialogue. What is the context of Samvad Vidhi? If we see the approach that encourage the teachers to have the confidence of creatively reflect on the on their teaching practice as it respond to the particularities of their own teaching context. This basically this संवाद विधि जो है वो किसी पर्टिकुलर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है, यूज किया जा सकता है. Kamadevelu refers to as a teacher-generated theory of practice. This means that the potential of technologies cannot be evaluated in abstract terms, but as it is interlinked with contextuality appropriate practice. Meaning thereby, when you are just using this samvad vidhi, it is up to you that how you are using and when you are using. If it is required, then you will then you will use this samvad vidhi in your teaching learning process. Thus, see the role of teacher in samvad vidhi, effective way to resolve issues of peace and stability. As you know that if any crisis persists anywhere, it can be only solved through samvad or through dialogue, through this method or through this vidhi. There is no other way to solve any such kind of issues, to establish the peace, to establish the stability. So this is very important, one of the method of the Indian method of pedagogy, to establish peace and to establish stability in our teaching learning process. Or in other word, I can say this vidhi is very important in today's context, when everywhere is hue and cry. People are not in a peace mental state of mind, and they are not stable. So we can even the family members are not having peace and stability. So it can be only possible through the samvad vidhi. If they talk to each other, they have dialogue to each other, their issues may be resolved. It helps to accept diverse view. And this can be only possible through the samvad vidhi. It promotes understanding by exploring the root of various crises. Basically, without we can it can be only
सर वॉइस आपकी ब्लैंक कर रही है सर.
सर आपकी आवाज कट कट के आ रही है.
सर वॉइस नहीं आ पा रही है अच्छे से.
सर आवाज क्लियर नहीं.
शायद नेटवर्क इशू है.
शायद
सर शायद लेफ्ट हो गए हैं क्या?
नहीं, हम लोग हैं।
सर लेफ्ट हो
सर
गए,
नहीं, मैं बोला।
शायद टेक्निकल इशू होगा कुछ।
यस। क्या हुआ है?
सर वॉइस म्यूट है आपकी, वॉइस म्यूट है सर, पहले अनम्यूट कर लीजिएगा।
अब आवाज आ रही है?
यस सर।
जी सर, आप आ रही है।
यस सर, अब आ रही है।
जी सर, अब आ
स्लाइड
रही
हो रहा है?
यस सर।
स्लाइड शेयर हो रहा है ना? हाँ, वो प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, 1 मिनट। ये स्लाइड शेयर अब हो जाएगा। अब हुआ?
हेलो।
स्लाइड शेयर हो गया?
यस सर, यस सर।
थैंक यू सो मच।
यस सर।
हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे वाद विवाद विधि पे। बेसिकली देयर इज ए पॉपुलर सेइंग अमंग द संस्कृत पंडित, वादे 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 जयते तत्वबोध। आफ्टर गोइंग थ्रू द सीरीज ऑफ वादास, ट्रू नॉलेज इज एक्वायर्ड। इट इज संस्कृत श्लोक है जिसमें कहा गया है कि जितना ज्यादा आप विवाद करेंगे, अब ये आजकल का वाद विवाद तो दूसरे तरह का हो जाता है, उस पर मत जाइएगा आप लोग। जो एक हेल्दी वाद विवाद जिसको हम कहें, स्वस्थ वाद विवाद, अगर उसके थ्रू हम डिस्कशन करते हैं विदाउट हैविंग एनी प्रेजुडिस, विदाउट हैविंग एनी काइंड ऑफ जेलसी, विदाउट हैविंग एनी काइंड ऑफ आई कैन से द पर्सनल इंटेंशन, तो उस वाद विवाद से कहीं ना कहीं ट्रू नॉलेज हमें एक्वायर्ड होता है, हमें कहीं ना कहीं एक सही ज्ञान या सत्य ज्ञान की तरफ हम बढ़ते हैं। अगर हम कॉन्टेक्स्ट की बात करें, कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ वाद विवाद विधि, टू गेट स्टूडेंट इन्वॉल्व, सबसे बड़ी बात इसमें यह है कि जब हम वाद विवाद के मेथड से हम पढ़ाते हैं बच्चों को, तो इसमें सारे स्टूडेंट्स का पार्टिसिपेशन इंश्योर हो जाता है। ऑल दे एंड दे विल से समथिंग। किसी का म्यूट कर लें, किसी के बच्चे बात कर रहे हैं। टू गेट स्टूडेंट्स इन्वॉल्व पहली जो चीज है, हो गया सर, थैंक यू, वो डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था। टू बिल्ड द टीम स्पिरिट, दूसरी जो इसकी खास बात है, दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ वाद विवाद विधि, टू बिल्ड द टीम स्पिरिट, दैट इज each and everyone try to participate. Yes. ठीक। समझ गए आप? 2 पॉइंट मैंने डिस्कस किया। एक तो सबसे पहली बात होती है कि इसमें टू गेट स्टूडेंट्स इन्वॉल्व, टू बिल्ड टीम स्पिरिट, जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट इसका है वाद विवाद के प्रयोग करने का या उसको इस्तेमाल करने का इन योर टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस, और टू इंक्रीज स्टूडेंट्स पार्टिसिपेशन। वाद विवाद एक ऐसा विधि है जिसमें, जरा ये म्यूट कर लें, जिनका भी ऑन है वो म्यूट कर लें, थोड़ा सा हम लोग ज्यादा
म्यूट करिए।
हम बता दीजिए हमको। टू क्रिएट अ सेफ इन्वायरमेंट, इसमें एक और खास बात यह है कि द टीचर इज अवेलेबल देयर and that he can provide a safe environment for vada vivada. There is no chances of any conflict, and it provides a creative environment to improve लिसनिंग स्किल। जब तक आप दूसरे की बात को सुनेंगे नहीं तब तक आप सही जवाब नहीं दे सकते। This can be only developed through this it improves the listening skill of the children, students, क्योंकि इसमें आपको जवाब देना होता है, आपको उसकी बात पे अपनी बात को रखनी होती है। So you have to listen carefully and to promote critical thinking. Until unless you will not have the answer with this some reason, logic, your answer will not be taken important. तो आपको ये भी दिमाग में रखना है कि until unless कि आपकी critical thinking develop नहीं होगी, आप सोचेंगे नहीं, आप दूसरे की सुनेंगे नहीं, तो आप सही से जवाब नहीं दे पाएंगे, आप वाद विवाद में सही से सहभागिता अपना नहीं दर्ज करा पाएंगे। इसलिए it also improves, it also promotes critical thinking and to foster creativity. The student learn how to answer, how to reply, how to respond, and that response and reply gives the and foster the creativity of the child. This is the what the context and use of the Vad Vivad. What is the role of teacher in Vad Vivad? Make sure all members have a chance to speak. ऐसा तो नहीं कि सिर्फ 4 ही लोग हैं, 10 लोगों की टीम है और 10 ही 4 ही लोग बोल रहे हैं। This is the role in Vad Vivad Vidhi of pedagogy of थैंक यू सर। मुझे नाम नहीं समझ में आ रहा था। कल्पना मैडम म्यूट कर लीजिए। जी जी मैम म्यूट कर लीजिए प्लीज। चलिए थैंक यू। Encourage members to ask question. Some members are very lazy, I know, and you must be knowing. Some members are very active. They try to dominate to the whole Vad Vivada. They try to encash that discussion. Therefore, this is the role of teacher to encourage each and every member of that group to ask question, to participate in the Vad Vivada, not be aloof, not be alone. Encourage members to listen to and respect each other's ideas. ये नहीं कि what you are replying, what nonsense. No, you are not allowed to say whatever the members are replying or answering or discussing. Everyone have to respect. If they are wrong, answer them intellectually, creatively, critically, but not bluntly. Keep an open mind and be willing to change your opinion. Sometimes your opinion is wrong. Sometimes your opinion is not fruitful. Then be always open-minded and try to change your opinion. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अब आपने जो ठान लिया है वही बोलते रहिए शुरू से आखिरी तक, मानने को तैयारी नहीं हो रहा है। जैसे आजकल टीवी में डिबेट्स होते हैं, we are an academician, we have to change, we have to learn every day something new. Even if it is necessary to change our opinion, we have to change our opinion. The turn leading to the discussion. Take turn leading to the discussion. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है ना कि जब ये वाद विवाद का विधि हम अडॉप्ट करते हैं क्लासेस में, तो डिस्कशन कहीं और जाने लगता है। तो बार बार आपको ये देखना होता है कि ये वाद विवाद जो है वो कहीं गलत डायरेक्शन में तो नहीं जा रहा है, तो उसको सही डायरेक्शन में रख के रहिए। दिस इज द रोल ऑफ टीचर। मेक श्योर द डिस्कशन स्टे ऑन टॉपिक। एंड दूसरी चीज वही बात है कि टॉपिक पे ही रहे आप, टॉपिक से कहीं और ना जाए। समराइज द डिस्कशन एंड कम टू ए कंक्लूजन। कहीं भी खत्म नहीं हो सकता है वाद विवाद। इट विल कम एट द एंड इन कंक्लूजन। You have to end the topic, you have to end the Vad Vivada at a conclusion. कुछ समाधान के साथ, कुछ निष्कर्ष के साथ आपको उस वाद विवाद को कंक्लूड करना है, समराइज करना है। ऐसा नहीं कि कभी भी कहीं भी ड्रॉप कर दें, कहीं भी खत्म कर दें, नहीं। इट हैव ए प्रॉपर कंक्लूजन एंड निष्कर्ष। शास्त्रार्थ विधि। The Shastrarth is a Sanskrit word. It is type of intellectual debate. It is not a normal debate. Prevalent in ancient India, it was a kind of philosophical and religious debate in which scholars participated to reveal the inner meaning, earth of religious scriptures known as the Shastra. Shankaracharya is considered as the main proponent of the Shastra. ये एक ऐसी विधि है जो बेसिकली रिलीजियस और इनर मीनिंग को एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए, उसके मतलब को, उसके माने को, उसके अर्थ को समझने के लिए हम इस तरह के शास्त्रार्थ करते हैं और उस पे हम डिस्कस करते हैं और राइट एंड रॉन्ग चीजों को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट है? इन वैदिक पीरियड कॉन्फ्रेंसेस यूज्ड टू बी हेल्ड इन हायर इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ लर्निंग. Basically, this Shastrat was a kind of conferences, and the topic was given, that is the Vedic topic or religious topic, and on that topic, the Shastrats were conducted, and the different, अभी मैंने बताया ना कि Shankaracharyas were participated to discuss on their own religious aspects. The scholars of the different subjects were invited in these conferences or in these Shastrat. They delivered their lectures and Shastras were held. अपनी अपनी बातें वो रखते थे और फिर उनकी बातों पे कोई दूसरी अपनी बात रखता था, फिर उस पे उस तरह से वो शास्त्रार्थ शुरू होता था। और वो सारे जो भी बातें रखते थे वो अपने पूरी तरह से उसके साथ उनके एविडेंसेज होते थे, उनके सबूत होते थे जो अपनी बात रखते थे, और उसके बाद वो शास्त्रार्थ शुरू होता था। स्टूडेंट ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन डिड अटेंड दीज कॉन्फ्रेंसेज, लिसन टू दी स्कॉलर्स एंड डिड गेट देयर डाउट्स एंड क्लैरिफाइड। आज की जो प्रश्न देखें, इसमें देखें तो हम कह सकते हैं कि स्टूडेंट्स जो हायर एजुकेशन के स्टूडेंट हैं वो इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं और इस तरह के लोगों की बातों को सुनते हैं, डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स पे, डिफरेंट इश्यूज पे, और फिर वो अपने डाउट्स को क्लैरिफाई करते हैं। प्रोवाइडिंग मेंटरशिप, अगर इस तरह की बातें हैं, इस तरह का अगर कोई शास्त्रार्थ आप करा रहे हैं क्लास में चाहे किसी प्रोग्राम में, तो टीचर्स का क्या रोल है? ही विल बी द मेंटर. He will initiate the topic. He will give the some points to discuss on this and inspire the learners. और फिर उससे बच्चे जो इंस्पायर होते हैं और फिर वो उसी तरह की चीजों को सीखते हैं। Nurturing healthy curiosity in learners. Healthy curiosity. इसके बाद क्या हुआ? इसके बाद क्या होगा? इसके बाद क्या हुआ था? Like that, questioning that kind of question. अब क्या होगा? फिर क्या होगा? उस तरह की चीजों को नर्चर करना जो है वो टीचर्स का रोल होता है बेसिकली दिस शास्त्रार्थ में। क्रिएटिंग मीनिंगफुल लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंसेस, जो भी बच्चे सीख रहे हैं, जो भी स्टूडेंट सीख रहे हैं, वो मीनिंगफुल हो, बेकार, या आप ये कह सकते हैं कि शास्त्रार्थ के नाम पे बेकार की बहसबाजी ना हो, कुछ मीनिंगफुल डिस्कशन हो जिससे कि बच्चों के सामने जो स्टूडेंट है आपके वो मीनिंगफुल चीजों को लर्न करें। मेडिएटिंग एंड लिसनिंग, लाइजनिंग, सॉरी, mediating and listening. Sometimes there may be dispute between the students, among the students. Then your role is, the role of teacher is to mediate and listening to mitigate the problem and discussion which came into high tone. Now the Agamana and Nirgamana Vidhi. This Agamana Vidhi is where the examples are served. When we are teaching any subject and we just started where the examples are served first and the learners have the responsibility to figure out the rule out. The teacher act as a guide where the learners are the, जैसे आप एक एग्जाम्पल तो मैं आपको बताऊं कि कोई टॉपिक है आपका, आपने कोई एग्जाम्पल दे दिया, अब कहा इसके बारे में बताइए आप लोग, बच्चे इन्वॉल्व हो गए उसमें। नाउ द टीचर इज जस्ट लाइक ए गाइड वेयर द लर्नर्स आर एट द वेरी सेंटर ऑफ द टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस. Now the each and every discussion and each and every आप कह सकते हैं कि process will be conducted by the students. They start figuring out the structure or the rule of from the example and find out the answer by all themselves. अब सभी लोग उसके आंसर की तलाश करेंगे। इसको आप कह सकते हैं कि एग्जाम्पल से बात को शुरू करना और कंटेंट को पढ़ाना, टॉपिक को पढ़ाना, दिस इज द आगमना विधि, आगमन विधि. एंड नाउ द निर्गमन विधि is a traditional method of teaching language, mathematics and grammar where the rules are given by the teacher up front followed by the corresponding example. पहले बच्चों को बताया जाता है, फिर उसके बाद एग्जाम्पल्स दिया जाता है। वहां पे पहले एग्जाम्पल दिया जाता है, बाद में बताया जाता है। The learners get the terminology at first, then move on to the understanding with the references to the examples served. That means the learner do not have much to do as the teachers does it all from dropping the rules, giving examples and explaining the rules with reference to the example. ये इसमें जस्ट निगमा जो है वो निगमन विधि जो है वो आपका आगमन विधि का अपोजिट है। उसमें एग्जाम्पल पहले दिया जाता है, इसमें एग्जाम्पल बाद में दिया जाता है। उसमें स्टूडेंट डोमिनेट करता है, इसमें टीचर डोमिनेट करता है। दिस इज द वन ऑफ द एंशिएंट मेथड ऑफ पेडागोजी इन इंडिया. व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ टीचर इन बोथ आगमन विधि एंड निगमन विधि? इन आगमन विधि teacher can set the treasure hunt in motion and be the most silent spectator. जैसा मैंने पहले बताया कि एक सवाल छोड़ दिया टीचर ने, अब बच्चे उस पे उसको सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, एक फॉर्मूला लिख दिया गया, बच्चे उसको सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. Learners are given the center stage in the hopes of making the learning process more interactive and effective. And in the Nigamana Vidhi, the teacher's role is front and center in class. He or he does all work here, and he plans the lesson, serve the rules and example in sequence before the explaining the whole thing. The participation of the learners in the Nigamana Vidhi is rather limited. They are mostly the silent listener. This is what the difference between the Agmana and Nigama Vidhi. And this is the role of teacher when conducting such kind of pedagogy in teaching learning process. Kantastha Vidhi. Kantastha is a Sanskrit compound consisting of the term kantas and astha. Yani that is kantas. Means being in the mouth, ready to be repeat by rote. बार बार जिस चीज को पढ़ा जाए, बार बार जिस चीज को याद किया जाए, उसी मेथड को हम कंटस्था कहते हैं. लर्न बाय हार्ट एंड रेडी टू बी रिसाइटेड. हमने ऐसे उसको याद कर लिया, चाहे वो श्लोका हो, चाहे किसी रिलीजियस टेक्स्ट की या कुरान की आयत हो या किसी बाइबल की कोई कोट हो, वो आपने ऐसे याद कर लिया जैसे कि आप जब कहा जाए तब आप उसको सुनाते हैं. कंटस्था इट मीन्स बीइंग इन थ्रोट, जैसे आपके गले में हो, मुंह में रखी हो बात, वो श्लोक, वो आयत, वो आप कह सकते हैं कि वो वर्सेस ऑफ होली टेक्स्ट, लर्न बाय द रेडी टू बी रिपीटेड, और बार बार उसको आप रिपीट कर सकते हैं. कंटस्था इज वाइडली यूज इन मास्टरी ऑफ द फाउंडेशनल नॉलेज. बेसिकली हम इस विधि को या इस विधि का जो हम आप कह सकते हैं कि हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जो इसको हम प्रैक्टिस में लाते हैं, वो फाउंडेशनल स्टेज पे लाते हैं, यानी कि प्राइमरी स्टेज पे लाते हैं, जब हम बच्चों को एक एक चीज याद करके सिखाते हैं. इट इज नॉट possible to use in higher education system. It is the method, this is the vidhi to which can be used in the primary level, जो हम बच्चों को पाठशालाओं में सिखाते हैं, पाठशालाओं में पढ़ाते हैं, इस मेथड से हम पढ़ाते हैं कि याद कराया जाए उनको. कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है? कंटस्था is widely used in the mastery of foundational knowledge. Example of the school topic where rote learning is frequently used include phonic in the reading, जब हम उनको जैसे हम उनको प्रोनाउंसिएशन सिखाते हैं, वर्ड्स सिखाते हैं, अल्फाबेट्स सिखाते हैं, एंड पीरियोडिक टेबल इन केमिस्ट्री, मल्टीप्लिकेशन टेबल इन मैथमेटिक्स, एनाटॉमी इन मेडिसिन, बेसिक फार्मूला इन एनी साइंस एक्सेट्रा. इस तरह की चीजों के लिए हम कंटस्थ विधि को, अब जैसे कोई फार्मूला है, हम जाहिर सी बात है उससे हम समझ नहीं सकते, हमें याद ही करना होगा. कोई मैप है, उससे हमें समझ नहीं सकता, हमें याद करना होगा, दिमाग में बैठाना होगा. एनाटॉमी इन मेडिसिन है, मैथमेटिक्स के टेबल्स हैं या केमिस्ट्री के जो टेबल्स हैं, वो सारी चीजें हमें याद करनी होती है, कंठस्थ करनी होती है. एंड दैट मेथड इज यूज्ड इन सच टाइप ऑफ टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस. व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ टीचर इन कंठस्थ विधि? गाइडिंग स्टूडेंट टू मूव देयर लर्निंग टू लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी. जिस तरह से हो आपको याद करना है, टीचर्स को उसको याद कराना है. हेल्पिंग इन क्रिएटिंग अटेंशन, और टीचर को हेल्प करना है ताकि बच्चे के अंदर अटेंशन क्रिएट हो सके. जब तक अटेंशन क्रिएट नहीं होगा तब तक वो कंठस्थ चीजों को नहीं कर पाएगा. मेक देम एबल टू रिकॉल इंफॉर्मेशन वंस इट इज प्रेजेंटेड. बार बार उसे याद कराना और बार बार उसे रिकॉल कराना. एक लाइन पढ़ते हैं बच्चे, फिर आप कहते हैं कि अच्छा आप किताब बंद करके पढ़िए, उसे याद करिए, याद करते हैं, फिर आप कहते हैं उसे बोलिए. दिस इज मेक देम एबल टू रिकॉल इंफॉर्मेशन वंस इट इज प्रेजेंटेड. हेल्प्स टू बूस्ट मेमोरी रिटेंशन कैपेबिलिटी. कैसे आपके पास कोई भी ऐसी टेक्निक हो जो आपने न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू जाना हो, वो बच्चों को बताएं कि हाउ दे कैन यूज एंड हाउ दे कैन मेमोराइज, और हाउ दे कैन कैसे वो इन सारी बातों को कंठस्थ कर सकते हैं. दिस इज द रोल ऑफ टीचर इन कंठस्थ विधि. आई थिंक निधि ध्यासन विधि. द वर्ड निधि ध्यासन is derived from the Sanskrit root dhyai, which can be translated as to think or to call to mind or to brood. These are the some I can say the meaning of the same nididhyasana vidhi. का मतलब है इसका, nididhyasana is sometimes described as a living and breathing the truth. किस तरह से चीजों को, सही चीजों को अंदर लिया जाए, किस तरह से वो किया जाए. जैसे कि डॉक्टर एस राधाकृष्णन ने डिफाइन किया था निधिध्यासन एज द प्रोसेस बाय विच इंटेलेक्चुअल कॉन्शियसनेस इज ट्रांसफॉर्म इनटू ए वाइटल वन There is stillness, a calm in which the soul lays itself open to the divine. आप किस तरह से कहते हैं ना कि मतलब आप अपने आत्मा को किस तरह से डिवाइन से मिलाते हैं, दैट निधि ध्यान. क्या है कॉन्टेक्स्ट, कहाँ पे इसका यूज हो सकता है टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस में? निधि ध्यान इज ए स्टेज इन द जर्नी टुवर्ड द अवेकनिंग एंड रियलाइजेशन विद इन अद्वैतता, वेदांता एंड ज्ञान योगा. ये ऐसा ध्यान है जिससे कि आप रियलाइजेशन की ओर जाते हैं, जिसको आप कह सकते हैं हकीकत की तरफ जाते हैं. It is described as a rational cognitive process that involves an effortless and spontaneous meditation on the Mahakavyas, which are profound statement from the Upanishad. ये ऐसी प्रोसेस है जो ऐसे कहीं से नहीं लाया गया, वो कहीं बहुत पुरानी हमारी उपनिषदों से इसको लाया गया है और महाकाव्य से लाया गया है. Such as that art thou, mean that is you. It means that you are the only who can do that. Meaning thereby, the Mahakavya and Upanishad gives you power. If you do so, you are the person, the one who can, that is, you can do this kind of activity. And if we inculcate such kind of nidhyasana in our children, in our students, of course, they will be able to describe as rational, and they will develop their cognitive process and involve in effortless and spontaneous activities. What is the role of teacher in Nidhyasana Vidhi? To turn mind away from worldly thoughts. जब जाहिर सी बात है, जब आप इस तरह से निध्यासन करेंगे, this is the role of teacher, to turn the mind away from the worldly thoughts. External word, body, business, family. ये सारी चीजें external words हैं. हमें कहाँ ध्यान देना है? If you are the student, then you have to concentrate on your learning. If you are a teacher, you have to concentrate on the quality teaching. So Nidhi Dhyasan, in which the role of teacher is first this, the prepared future planning, as it starts as a ripple, but our thought makes it bigger. जाहिर सी बात है, कोई भी हम प्लानिंग शुरू करते हैं तो बहुत छोटे से हम कह सकते हैं बिंदु से शुरू होती है, पॉइंट से शुरू होती है, but it becomes bigger in our future, and that can be only possible through Nidhi Dhyasan. And that is the role of teacher, to prepare the students for future planning through this method. इंद्रिया गामम विनयम, कहते हैं कि रिस्ट्रेनिंग कंप्लीटली, अपने आप को टोटली रिस्ट्रेन कर लेना, तमाम तरह की फालतू चीजों की तरफ से ध्यान अपना हटा के एक तरफ ध्यान कर लेना. Withdrawal sense organs of the students, which are gateways through which external world enters mind. बच्चों को उस तरफ से ध्यान को एकदम विड्रॉ कर दीजिए, हटा दीजिए, जिधर से बाहर की चीजें उनके माइंड में आती. And thus close gateway to external world does not enter mind. और उस रास्ते को, this is the role of the teacher, कि आप उन रास्तों को बंद कर दीजिए जहां से हमारे स्टूडेंट्स में, हमारे बच्चों में बाहर की फालतू की चीजें इंटर करती हैं. It can be only possible through Nidhi Dhyasan Vidhi. If we make it practice in our students, not in every day, but on the weekly basis, it will pay a lot. And I think this is the last point of the Indian method of pedagogy, that is Antargyan Vidhi. Your Antargyan are feelings. You have that something in true even when you have no evidence or proof. जाहिर सी बात है, कभी आपके अंतरात्मा कुछ कहती है, और जो कहती है उसके बाद वो सही भी होता है, लेकिन आपके पास कोई सबूत नहीं है कि आपको कहीं अंतरात्मा से आवाज आई थी. लेकिन हाँ, वो वही आपके अंतरात्मा से आवाज आई थी, अंतर्ज्ञान आपका था वो, और वही हुआ. दैट इज इंट्यूशन इज नॉट लॉजिकल. इसके पीछे कोई लॉजिक नहीं है कि ऐसा क्यों हुआ और ये सत्य कैसे हो गया. इट इज नॉट द रिजल्ट ऑफ अ सेट ऑफ कंसीडर्ड स्टेप दैट कैन बी शेयर्ड और एक्सप्लेन्ड. ये ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि जिसे हम स्टेप में बता सकते हैं किसी को, या समझा सकते हैं, एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं. इंस्टेड वाइल बेस्ड ऑन डीप सीटेड नॉलेज. ये सब कभी कभी होता कैसे कि when you have studied a lot, when you engrossed in any topic, any field, any discipline,
अभी रुक जा, अभी क्लास खत्म नहीं खत्म, क्लास
or intuition. The process feels natural or instinctual. तो आप इंस्टिंक्ट में है, इंस्टिंक्ट आपको अलाउ करता है कि ये करें ये ना करें, एंड इट फोकसेस ऑन 3 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक. वी मस्ट नो द नॉलेज गेन्ड आउट ऑफ इंट्यूशन इज स्पॉन्टेनियस एंड सडन. जाहिर सी बात है, आप कोई काम कर रहे होते हैं, आपको एक बैग कुछ ऐसा लगता है और आपको लगता है कि ये अगर करें तो फौरन इसका रिजल्ट आ जाएगा, एंड इट्स हैपेंस. सो द फर्स्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ अंतर्ज्ञान विधि इज दैट द नॉलेज गेन्ड आउट ऑफ द दिस method that is spontaneous and sudden. Senses and mind are not involved during intuition. इसमें कोई दिमाग और सेंस लगाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, ये ऑटोमेटिकली ऑल ऑफ सडन आपके ध्यान में आती है बात. Anyone can experience it and at different point of time. ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि एक ही टाइम में सबको होगा और या सिर्फ कुछ ही लोगों को अंतर्ज्ञान होगा. किसी को भी हो सकता है, डिफरेंट टाइम पे हो सकता है, डिफरेंट कंडीशन पे हो सकता है, डिफरेंट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे भी हो सकता है. ये क्या कर सकते हैं, कौन कौन से कॉन्टेक्स्ट है भाई? फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ डिसीजन पावर वी कैन यूज दिस अंतर्ज्ञान विधि फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ डिसीजन पावर. जाहिर सी बात है, जब आप सारे तरफ से होपलेस हो जाते हैं, देन यू थिंक कि आपका दिल और दिमाग क्या कह रहा है, व्हाट इज योर इंट्यूशन, व्हाट द स्टेप शुड बी टेकन फ्रॉम योर साइड. जब सारे रास्ते बंद आपको दिखने लगते हैं, देन यू आस्क फ्रॉम योर इंट्यूशन, देन यू आस्क फ्रॉम योर अंतर्ज्ञान कि वो क्या कह रहा है. तो उस वक्त आपका अगर इसको आप बार बार करते रहेंगे तो ये एक तरह से आपके डिसीजन पावर को इंक्रीज करता है, एंड दिस कैन बी ओनली डेवलप टू आवर डिसीजन पावर ड्यूरिंग डिसीजन अनसर्टेनिटी. अभी मैं जो बता रहा था आपसे, जब डिसीजन ही लेने की कोई अनसर्टेनिटी है, देन योर अंतर्ज्ञान गिव्स द डायरेक्शन. ये तब रास्ता बताता है कि आपको किधर जाना है. प्रिपरेशन फॉर डिसीजन मोटिव एट द टाइम ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड क्राइसिस. जब आप किसी क्राइसिस में होते हैं या जब आपके पास बहुत सारे अच्छे मौके होते हैं, ऑप्शंस होते हैं, तब भी आप अंतर्ज्ञान से ही पता करते हैं कि क्या करना है. क्राइसिस है तब भी, और आपके सामने कई सारे ऑप्शन दिए, अच्छे अच्छे 4 कार, नई कारें खड़ी हैं और फ्री में मिलना है आपको, तो आप सोचते हैं कौन सा ले. फिर आप डिसाइड करते हैं अपने अंतर्ज्ञान से कि कौन सी कार सबसे अच्छी लग रही है आपको, और फिर वो आप ले लेते हैं. तो दिस इज द प्रिपरेशन, और दिस अंतर्ज्ञान इज सच काइंड ऑफ, ये ऐसी एक विधि है जिससे आप अपने मोटिव्स को, डिसीजन मोटिव को, और या जब अपॉर्चुनिटी या क्राइसिस की कंडीशन होती है उसमें इसका इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. इन्वायरमेंटल अनसर्टेनिटी फॉर एग्जांपल, कभी कभी इन्वायरमेंटल अनसर्टेनिटी होती है तो आप अंतर्ज्ञान से पता करते हैं कि बारिश हो सकती है, नहीं हो सकती है, या इन्वायरमेंटल हॉस्टिलिटी की कंडीशन में भी आप अंतर्ज्ञान का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. तो दीज आर द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ अंतर्ज्ञान विधि. थैंक यू. अगर आप लोगों के पास कुछ,
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you, Dr. Aftab. Thank you, Dr. Aftab, for such a good presentation, in fact.
सर.
So I'm quite sure the participants
टाइम
have.
टाइम मैंने थोड़ा ज्यादा लिया, 10 मिनट. आपने 6-10 मिनट टाइम दिया था सर, मैंने 5 मिनट ज्यादा लिया है.
No, there is no issue. There is no issue. So participants, if you have any question, please hurriedly ask so that we may proceed towards the test. And then we will have validity session at 7:30. किसी को अगर कुछ पूछना है तो बहुत क्विकली पूछ लीजिए प्लीज.
सर may I ask a question?
या मैम.
सर आपने बताया आगमनात्मक और निम्नात्मक विधि दोनों जो मेथड्स हैं वो ट्रेडिशनल मेथड्स हैं, आगमनात्मक और निम्नात्मक. तो जो इंडक्टिव मेथड है एंड डिडक्टिव मेथड, तो इंडक्टिव मेथड्स के लिए बताया कि ये टीचर मतलब ये क्वेश्चन छोड़ देता है, तो और फिर उसमें मतलब इट मींस जैसे अगर संज्ञा की परिभाषा बतानी है तो पहले हम बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन पूछ लें, इट मींस है ना, बच्चों से कि जैसे हमें पता है कि संज्ञा का मतलब ये है, परिभाषा ये है कि ये नाम व्यक्ति विषय क्या है, तो उससे हम बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन पूछ लें, फिर उसके बाद बता दें कि ये इसी को हम संज्ञा कहते हैं. और अगर जब हम डिडक्टिव मेथड में आ रहे हैं देन उल्टा इसका हो जा रहा है ना सर कि
नाउन की डेफिनेशन बताएंगे, फिर
हाँ पहले
बताओ तो नाउन क्या है.
ओके सर, ओके ओके सर, मतलब समझ गए. थैंक यू सर.
Dr. Bhavna, to supplement Dr. Aftab, let me clarify. Inductive method is that method in which we proceed from example to rule. एक एग्जाम्पल लिए, दूसरा लिए, तीसरा लिए, चौथा लिए, पांचवा लिए, और फिर बच्चों को मोटिवेट किए कि बताओ इससे किस निष्कर्ष पे तुम पहुंचे. दिस इज इंडक्टिव मेथड. रिवर्स ऑफ दैट इज डिडक्टिव. यू गो, यू टेल द डेफिनेशन, यू टेल द रूल, और फिर उससे एग्जाम्पल्स पूछ करके क्लैरिफाई करवाइए कॉन्सेप्ट.
Okay, sir.
Sajid bhai, good evening all the
participants, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Everyone, good evening. I'm so glad that everyone is enjoying this session by Dr. Aftab. And this is our last session. Unbelievable, I must say. When we began with this project, we found it so difficult, something new. But thankfully, all our participants have been so enthusiastic. And I'm happy we did it on IKS. So, साजिद भाई इनका टेस्ट भी है शायद आज.
Yes, ma'am. Just now, I will request Mazhar Saab
Okay.
to please share that link in the group. They will just click the link, ma'am, and questions will be opened before them, and then just they have to put a click on that, and it will be submitted.
So I hope किसी को डर नहीं लग रहा है टेस्ट से. सब
No, ma'am. My participants are very good. My participants are very good. They are very good teachers. So definitely they are not afraid of this. Of course.
Still scared, ma'am. Still scared.
No need to be scared.
Yeah,
No
nothing
need to
like
be
that.
scared. Yesterday we had a meeting with the UGC chairman, and he said they are all teachers after all. So test should not be something scary. Test should be oriented towards, participative learning. So Professor Sajid Jamal has prepared a very enjoyable quiz for
Definitely.
you. Yes.
It's very good. It's very easy. There's nothing to.
And I'm sure everybody will find it enjoyable to go through the quiz. So you don't need a relieving letter for this. Nobody needs a relieving letter. And your certificates will be sent to you. They are all ready. I have seen there are quite a few observations when we circulated the draft certificates. Sajid bhai, कुछ लोगों को उसमें गलतियां नजर आ रही थी अपने नाम के साथ, अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन के नाम के साथ.
विभाग का नाम नहीं है मैम. किसी ज्यादातर पार्टिसिपेंट के नाम के साथ विभाग का नाम नहीं है.
हाँ, नहीं डालेंगे, वो जिसमें नहीं है उसमें डालेंगे.
We will do that. Nothing to worry. We will do that.
And once that is done, only then we will send you the certificate. What I wanted to say is that we have been monitoring your attendance. Of course, किसी भी participant की attendance के साथ कोई ऐसा issue नहीं है. और ये छोटा सा MCQ जो है वो आप करें, और MCQ के बेसिस पर सर्टिफिकेट्स जो हैं वो जिसका MCQ आ जाएगा उसको सर्टिफिकेट्स जो हैं वो रिलीज हो जाएंगे. कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो, कहीं भी कोई भी गलती हो सर्टिफिकेट में, जाहिर है हम we are deeply committed to address that. So Sajid bhai, I think you can continue. अगर क्वेश्चन आंसर थोड़े से और हैं तो वो हो जाए, और फिर
I think they don't have any question. So let's go for the test, ma'am, and let's complete, and then we will start the validation.
Yes, let's go for the test. Thank you so much. All the best. Best of luck to everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Everybody is welcome. Please go ahead with your test.
लिंक
लेवल 11 हो गया है.
अभी लिंक तो नहीं आई.
आ रहा लिंक, आ रहा है. Just wait. Within a minute it will reach. Don't worry.
सर हम लोग का सर्टिफिकेट बाय पोस्ट भी आएगा क्या?
By post आप इंटरनेट से डाउनलोड कर लीजिएगा.
यस सर. सर हम लोग इस यहाँ से लीव कर जाए क्लास से.
मेल से निकाल सकते हैं सर.
सर टेस्ट को कंप्लीट करने के लिए कितना टाइम मिलेगा?
मैम कौन है मैम, कुछ कह रही थी?
सर कितना टाइम है सर टेस्ट को कंप्लीट करने के लिए? कितना टाइम
10
मिलेगा?
मिनट्स लगेंगे या 10 से भी कम. 10 क्वेश्चंस हैं, बहुत इजी है. आपको बस टिक मारना है, तो इट्स वेरी इजी.
ओके सर, ओके.
Sajid sir, I have a observation.
जी बोलिए.
जी सर, एक्चुअली दिस कोर्स is short term or orientation, because it was
It's
mentioned
short
short
term,
term.
short term basically.
Okay,
Short
in the
term.
certificate, the draft
सर
certificate mentioned
सर्टिफिकेट पे
orientation.
ओरिएंटेशन लिखा है।
So kindly correct it, sir.
Okay, let me come into that. Okay. Your concern is
Sir?
very. Your concern is
सर्टिफिकेट
very.
पे ओरिएंटेशन कोर्स लिखा है।
मैं बता रही हूँ मैडम, मैं बता रही हूँ। देखिए, आपको इसका जो ड्यूरेशन है 8 डेज का, उसके बिना पे सीएस में वही बेनिफिट मिलेगा जो शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्स में मिलता है, ठीक है। लेकिन यूजीसी की तरफ से जो नॉमेनक्लेचर है इस कोर्स का, वो है एनईपी ओरिएंटेशन, यानी कि इसमें जो कोर्स का टाइटल है वो है एनईपी ओरिएंटेशन, है ना, लेकिन कोर्स का जो स्टेटस है वो है शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्स, ठीक है।
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू।
Okay,
Ma'am,
ma'am. जी.
that should
Thank
be
you, ma'am.
mentioned in the certificate, I think. Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
In fact, when we want to actually get benefit for CAS, CAS,
You will
we
get
need
benefit for class. Short
yes,
term.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, short term.
8 days means short term.
ओके
Short term, yeah, that should
Yes.
be clearly mentioned, because in many universities actually when we go for CAS, they
Yes.
say whether it is orientation course or short term. You
No,
say
no.
short term
Listen.
and it is orientation.
No. See, orientation program has been discontinued. We have faculty induction program instead of orientation program. So there is no confusion with that. Okay, 1 month orientation program, 4 weeks, has been replaced by faculty induction program. So now in the CS, because CS guidelines are older than the faculty induction program, those guidelines are from before COVID period. We have faculty induction program from after COVID. So there is no confusion with that. This is the title of the course. This is not the status of the course. It is called
Okay,
NEP
ma'am.
orientation,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
because it is as part of a project for 2 years. We are doing NEP orientation. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
But the
that is
status,
not an issue. Yeah.
no. The status as per CS is short-term course.
Okay.
Okay, so participants, you have got the link. We have sent the link. So please open the link and complete the test hurriedly, please.
सर लिंक किस पे है, व्हाट्सएप पे है कि
Okay, sir.
लिंक व्हाट्सएप पे है जी।
थैंक यू।
व्हाट्सएप पर ही है।
So should we leave this meeting and try for this test, because it is not opening at the same time simultaneously?
Dr. Hanumant, you leave just after few minutes, please. Please stay with us for few minutes.
क्वेश्चन तो हो गया है, क्या क्लास लिफ्ट कर दी?
Pratima
No.
ma'am, we are getting the responses.
सर मैंने कर दिया है, उसको कंप्लीट सबमिट भी कर दिया है।
We are getting the responses.
सर मेरा 10 आउट ऑफ 10 दे रहा है इसको।
अच्छा, आपको रिजल्ट पता चला? ओ वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। So you stay with us, Pratima ma'am. You stay with us, please.
जी
या आप
अच्छा
हमारे
ठीक
साथ
ठीक
रहेंगे
ठीक,
इसी लिंक पे।
जी 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 ओके सर।
Participants, very soon we are going to start the valedictory session. So please stay with us on this link. Yes, yes.
सर लीव कर जाऊं? हेलो
नहीं नहीं मंडल जी, लीव मत करिए, इसी लिंक पे रहिए, इसी लिंक पे हम लोग वैलिडिटी करेंगे। ठीक है सुभाष जी?
जी जी
Yeah. More than 30 people have submitted their responses. We will just wait for 1 or 2 minutes, right?
Okay, sir.
जी सुरेंद्र जी, सबमिट हो गया आपका? म्यूट है आप जी?
जी सर, मैंने सबमिट कर दिया सर।
ओके ओके ओके। So just we will start in 1 or 2 minute validity session.
जी सर, ओके सर।
आप इसी लिंक पे जुड़े रहिए।
जी सर, ओके सर।
Director ma'am, should we start validity session? Director ma'am?
एक रह गया।
Ma'am, should we start validity session? Director ma'am? You are muted, ma'am. Yeah, you are muted.
I'm so sorry. My entire meeting was related to this group. Huh? Yes, yes, we are good. We can start, please. Is everybody back? बहुत कम लोग हैं अभी क्लास में.
अब वो थोड़ा सा कुछ लीव हो गए थे मैम, दे आर ज्वाइनिंग इन फैक्ट. हाँ. So my friends, please join. Those who have left, please join.
सर म्यूट हैं आप सर, अनम्यूट करेंगे तो आवाज आएगी शायद।
Yes, yes, yes. Just in fact, we have got 51 responses. So, Dr. Ma'am, let's begin. Ma'am.
So, Sajid bhai, are we beginning?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In fact, as a course coordinator, it has been a big sigh of relief for me. And please believe me, my friends, that when Director Ma'am called me and instructed me that you have to organize a workshop on IKS. So definitely I was not comfortable because this whole thing is not my area. And in fact, I have worked hard, very much hard, in fact, in finalizing the theme, the topics, and, in searching the suitable resource person. But since director ma'am always give me full liberty whenever she assign any work to me. So finally, I got the full freedom, and with her cooperation, and of course with the cooperation of my colleagues, particularly Dr. Shakir, Dr. Anjum, Dr. Noora, and Dr. Aftab from the Department of Education, we were able to do the needful. So as a course coordinator, definitely I'm quite satisfied. I think in this whole program, there were 16 lectures. And needless to say, all the 16 lectures were very good. All the resource persons were very good, in fact. So we started this workshop with my lecture, in fact, in which I sensitized why IKS is important and how IKS is linked with the NEP. Then Dr. Anjum, she gave a broad overview of IKS. Then we requested Professor Vashishta, in fact. So he gave the historical development of IKS. Dr. Javed Ali Khan, retired professor from the Department of Physical Education. So he talked about yoga and all those things, you see. And then we have a deliberated discussion on Nyaya philosophy. We have deliberated discussion on philosophical foundations of this IKS, and that for that we invited 2 people from the Department of Philosophy who delivered very good lecture. Then we took the services of my own colleague, Dr. Noora. He talked about how to integrate IKS in education system. I took the services of Dr. Aftab, who talked on Indian methods of pedagogy. I took the services of Dr. Shakir, who talked about how to become Vishwaguru through gurus, and so many other things, in fact, we have discussed in this whole workshop. And if you remember, my friends, in the beginning, when I was reading the aims and objectives of this workshop, so one point I mentioned that the moment this program will be over, definitely you will feel pride in being an Indian, because we have such a grand legacy of our knowledge system. So I'm quite sure that at this juncture of time, every participant, I am feeling pride, in fact, of being Indian. And of course, I'm quite sure that every participant who has attended this program, he or she will be feeling pride of being Indian. So it's our tradition at Aligarh Muslim University that in the valedictory session, we take necessarily opinion of our participants, because whatever we have done, it's for you, in fact. So we take the opinion of at least 2 participants. So we'll do for that. So I would like to request one participant who is really very regular and punctual and asked very meaningful question. He was very active throughout the workshop, and he's Dr. Sanjay. So Dr. Sanjay, listening to me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो आप अपनी कोई राय रखना चाहते हैं, कोई बात रखने चाहते हैं, कोई इसके और मॉडिफिकेशन के लिए, बेहतरी के लिए कोई सुझाव देना चाहते हैं, तो यू आर वेलकम सर. प्लीज डू इट.
जी. Good evening, sir, and good evening, ma'am, and good evening all participants. मैंने सर इससे पहले आप ही के यहाँ AMU से ही FIP प्रोग्राम भी किया था, और वहाँ पे मैम ने बताया था कि आपको IKS भी करना चाहिए, और मैंने यहाँ पे IKS किया और FIP किया, दोनों ही बहुत ही अच्छा लगा. मतलब इतना नॉलेज मुझे मिला कि लगता है कि मैंने 2 साल कंप्लीट किया अपना, और बहुत ही ज़्यादा मतलब जितने भी पर्सन्स थे, रिसोर्स पर्सन्स थे, उन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छे ढंग से समझाया. खास करके अभी जो नूरा मैम थी और प्रोफेसर वशिष्ठ थे और योगा वाले सर थे, उन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छे से समझाया सब कुछ. इवन मैं भी योगा करता हूँ, बट उन्होंने जो डायरेक्शन दिया, तो उस डायरेक्शन में अब शुरुआत कर रहा हूँ मैं, तो मुझे काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है उसी डायरेक्शन में करके. सर मेरे तरफ से कोई सजेशन नहीं है, क्योंकि ये प्रोग्राम बहुत ही अच्छे ढंग से चल रहा है.
ओके डॉक्टर संजय, आपने बहुत मोटिवेट करने वाली बातें हम लोग को कही. आई एम क्वाइट श्योर कि आई एम मोटिवेटेड एंड डायरेक्टर मैम विल आल्सो बी मोटिवेटेड. तो लेकिन फिर भी अगर सर आपको कोई सजेशन देना है तो मेरा मेल है आपके पास, आप मेरे मेल पे भेज सकते हैं, नहीं तो फिर आप डायरेक्टर मैम के मेल पे भी भेज सकते हैं, क्योंकि अगर आपके सजेशन हमें मिलेंगे तो डेफिनेटली हम अगला जो प्रोग्राम करेंगे वो इससे और बेहतर कर पाएंगे। सो there is one more participant, quite senior but she is very regular, she is very punctual और सारे सेशंस बहुत गंभीरता से सुनती हैं, और वो है पुष्पांजलि मैम। सो पुष्पांजलि आर्या मैम, लिसनिंग टू मी मैम? पुष्पांजलि मैम?
हाँ जी सर।
मैम आप अपनी राय कुछ रखना चाहेंगी हमारे सामने? प्रोग्राम कैसा रहा, आपको क्या मिला, आप सेटिस्फाइड हैं कि नहीं है, और इस प्रोग्राम को और कैसे बेहतर बनाया जा सकता है? सो जस्ट योर 2 मिनट्स में।
सर सेशन तो बहुत अच्छे रहे, और ऐसे सेशंस होने चाहिए कि कई बार क्या होता है कि सर हम जॉब के साथ टाइम नहीं निकाल पाते कि हम अलग से कोई ओरिएंटेशन या रिफ्रेशर प्रोग्राम्स करें या वर्कशॉप्स करें। तो हम इतना अच्छा रहा कि हमने डिपार्टमेंट भी देखा और शाम को 4 से 7 बजे तक, 7:30 बजे तक हमने ये सेशंस भी अटेंड करे। तो इट वाज वेरी गुड सर। और आने वाले समय में भी ऐसे प्रोग्राम्स अगर होते रहे तो आई विल हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू अटेंड द प्रोग्राम्स।
ओके, थैंक यू मैम। मैम कोई सजेशन देना चाहेंगे कि हम फर्दर और इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं इसको?
सर सजेशंस तो कैसे, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम्स चल रहे हैं सर, इससे अच्छा मैं क्या सजेशन दे पाऊंगी। मैम ने तो इतना अच्छा बताया, आज रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी वाला सेशन तो बहुत अच्छा रहा। आई जस्ट लाइक्ड इट।
तंत्र युक्ति पे जो किया उन्होंने, नूरा मैम ने, है ना?
जी जी जी।
ओके ओके। आप में से कोई और अगर अपनी राय देना चाहे तो वी कैन अकोमोडेट वन मोर पार्टिसिपेंट। किसी को कुछ कहना है?
गुड इवनिंग सर।
या शालिनी मैम, प्लीज स्पीक प्लीज।
जी सर, कोई सजेशन नहीं देना है सर, क्योंकि बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम सर हुआ, वो लेक्चर भी सर बहुत अच्छे रिसोर्स पर्सन थे सर। जैसे कि साजिद जमाल सर जी का लेक्चर बहुत अच्छा हमेशा ही रहता है सर। यूसी बसिस सर ने भी बहुत अच्छा लेक्चर दिया था। मैं सर सबके नोट करती थी डेली, जैसे एज ए स्टूडेंट नोट करते हैं कि किसका लेक्चर किस डेट है। नूरा मैम का लेक्चर हो या रेखा मैम का लेक्चर हो या सुनील सर का लेक्चर हो या शाकिर सर का लेक्चर हो, सर बिल्कुल स्टूडेंट वाली फीलिंग जो आ रही थी। अभी कोर्स खत्म हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा लग रहा है कल से फ्री रहेंगे इस टाइम पे, तो वो सर बहुत अच्छा था। सर बस एक बात ये कहना चाह रही थी, अगर सजेशन के लिए जैसे आप पूछ रहे थे, तो सर जैसे फीडबैक हम तुरंत देते हैं ना, तो हमारी नॉलेज भी जैसे अपडेट हो जाती है। जैसे बच्चों को हम टेस्ट ले लेते हैं ना कि रैंडमली हमने जो पढ़ाया है उसमें क्वेश्चन ले लिया, तो वो सर थोड़ा सा हो जाता तो हम लोग और अटेंटिव हो जाते। और एक बात सर और कहना चाह रही हूँ कि फिलॉसफी सर मैं बीएड की स्टूडेंट रही हूँ, फिलॉसफी थोड़ा पढ़ा है, लेकिन इस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सर फिलॉसफी मतलब कभी नहीं पढ़ी और इतना नॉलेज इसमें आया। और ये सर इस तरह से पहले पढ़ा होता तो शायद बीएड में बहुत अच्छा परसेंटेज रहता। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, थैंक यू मैम इतना अच्छा कोर्स करने के लिए। और इंडियन जो नॉलेज है वो बहुत मतलब नहीं जानते थे इतना उसके बारे में, और बहुत नॉलेज हुई, और सर सारे लेक्चर बहुत वैल्यूएबल थे और बहुत इंफॉर्मेटिव थे। और सो थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, थैंक यू मैम।
Thank you, Shalini ma'am. The suggestion that you have given, so definitely Dr. Ma'am is also listening, so we will think over it, or we will try to incorporate in the next program. But just I would like to give one chance to one more participant, Dr. Bhavna, of course, very regular, very punctual. So Dr. Bhavna, please speak.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर। गुड इवनिंग मैम, गुड इवनिंग सर। सर बहुत ही अच्छा लेक्चर हमेशा रहा है, और मैं इस तरह से एएमयू से बंध गई हूँ कि मेरे सर्विस को 12-13 साल हो गए। जितने भी कोर्सेज हैं मैंने एएमयू से ही कंप्लीट किए हैं, और इतना अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस, इतना नॉलेज मिलता है कि मुझे और कहीं जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती है। और सर ये वाला जो मदन मोहन मालवीय वाला जो ये कोर्स है, ये तो और ही अच्छा रहा। इसलिए अच्छा रहा क्योंकि रिलीव नहीं होना पड़ा, कोई हमें छुट्टी नहीं लेनी पड़ी, और कॉलेज के साथ साथ इस काम को हम करते रहे। तो एक बहुत अच्छा मतलब टाइम भी रहा कि आराम से हम थक के आए हैं कॉलेज से, तो इवनिंग टाइम में हमने अच्छे से सुना, उसको उसका जवाब दिया। और इतने बढ़िया लेक्चर सर, सिद्दीकी सर का, नूरा मैम का, और पतंजलि सर का, और इतने बढ़िया आज मैम का लेक्चर बहुत ही अच्छा, मतलब किसी से तुलना की ही नहीं जा सकती सर। तो इतना अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस, और मुझे तो ये लगता है कि मैम से ये पूछूं कि मैम नेक्स्ट वाला कब होने वाला है, तो मैं उसमें भी ज्वाइन करूं। थैंक यू सो मच मैम, थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर गिविंग मी such opportunity to listening the such type of knowledge, very informative, very knowledgeable. Thank you ma'am, thank you sir.
Thank you Bhavna ma'am for those motivating words. In fact, we have whole schedule on website of UGC HRDC AMU Aligarh, so there is no issue. आप पूरा जान जाएंगे कि हमारा अगला प्रोग्राम कब को होने वाला है. So I think with this I would like to request Director ma'am, Dr. Faiza Basi ma'am, to say a few words. Ma'am, it's all to you.
Thank you, Sajid Bhai. How many times and for how many things I have to say thank you to Professor Sajid Jamal, I can't keep count of. For all these participants giving us such a wonderful and positive feedback, I think the credit entirely goes to Professor Sajid Jamal. You can see it's going to be 8 o'clock. He too has been working all day, and just like you, he was also on no relieving, but still he's here in our office, and he's rejoicing in the success of a course that he very beautifully conducted, and he's here speaking to you. So I think he's a very fine example of the fact that the reward of a teacher lies in the act of teaching being successful and the student being inspired itself. Nothing else, period. So I believe this spirit was infused in all the participants who joined us and who interacted with all our resource persons and who were under the able care of Professor Sajid Jamal. This was a course on IKS, the Indian Knowledge System. We can also call it the Indigenous Knowledge System. And I must tell you that our country is so rich in the knowledge that the indigenous people have. The wealth of the beneficial uses they can find of biodiversity, it's mind-boggling. It's just mind-boggling. So IKS has very recently entered the terminology of higher education, but it has done very rightfully so, I must say. And from the teachers, through the teachers, it should be our aim to take the goal of the promotion of IKS to the students in the higher education sector. मैं आप लोगों को एक छोटा सा किस्सा सुनाना चाहती हूँ. अल्लामा इकबाल बहुत मशहूर शायर थे और बहुत बड़े फलसफी भी थे. He was a great philosopher also. He did his PhD in philosophy from Germany. So his son, Javed, his son's name was Javed. When Allama Iqbal was in Germany, his son wrote to him a letter and he said, when you come, please bring for me a gramophone. You know, gramophone. जो गाना जिसको बाजा कहते थे पहले के जमाने में. उनके बेटे ने उनको खत लिखा कि अब्बा जब आप जर्मनी से आइएगा तो आप हमारे लिए एक ग्रामोफोन लेकर के आइएगा. अल्लामा इकबाल ने उसके बाद अपनी एक नज्म कही जिसका नाम था जावेद नामा, यानी कि अपने बेटे को वो ये नज्म कह रहे थे. इसमें एक शेर है. मैं बस सिर्फ ये आपको बता दूं कि सिफाल मतलब होता है मिट्टी, मिट्टी. शेर में अपने बेटे से वो ये कहते हैं कि उठा न शीशा गराने फिरंग के एहसान, उठा न शीशा गराने फिरंग के एहसान, यानी फिरंगियों के जो वो शीशा गरानी करते हैं उसके एहसान नहीं उठाओ. सिफाल हिंद से मीनाओ जाम पैदा कर. हिंदुस्तान की जो मिट्टी है उससे अपनी मीना और अपना जाम पैदा करो. This happens to be one of my favorite development and humanistic thoughts, that we are not a country that needs only to look to the West for its progress and its development. We are a country that has so much to its own self. All we need to do is look back. All we need to do is sit down and rediscover our heritage and rediscover our indigenous knowledge system. And it's there in rich galore everywhere. So I'm glad that this was the first new education policy orientation program that we did in this year, and I'm looking forward to many more courses. I'm happy that you could do it smoothly, and it was kind of easy going for you because you didn't have to take your relieving, and you could look after your college duties also in the morning. That's the spirit of this course. We have also planned another 10 courses throughout this year. We will be holding courses on various other themes of the new education policy. Next is academic leadership. Then we have research excellence. We have skill development. And we will be repeating IKS in February once again. So what I want to request you is that whenever you find time, because you have 1,000 rupees registration fees is just nothing. It's a very bigger, paltry amount for a teacher. MashaAllah, you are all gainfully employed. You're very fortunate, I must say, that you have these jobs in higher education institutions of the country. There are very few people who are so securely and so gainfully employed. So it doesn't take much. I would say that in the course of the next year and this year, try to cover the new education policy in all its 8 themes. We are doing one course on one theme because we want to delve deeply into that theme. If we would do one day, one theme and finish the course in 8 days, I think everything will be very superficially touched upon. है ना, Sajid bhai? I think you agree with that. Agar hum
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
So that is why we are giving full 8 days, 16 sessions to one theme, IKS. So now you're very close to being an IKS expert. I'm not saying that it was our motive to make you an IKS expert. It was our motive to inspire you to become an IKS expert who can make our education system holistic and self-reliant. Because just like I said, uthana shisha garane firang ke aisa, sifale hind se meena o jam paida kar. So it's going to be our pride in our indigenous heritage. और अभी रिसेंटली आप लोगों ने सबने 15 अगस्त पे मेरी माटी मेरा देश एक कैंपेन भी किया होगा. हमने अपने हाथों में अपने अब जहां जहां हम रहते हैं हाथों में वतन की मिट्टी उठाई थी और सब हमने उसके फोटोग्राफ्स लगाए थे. I think it is wonderful that the nation has been reawakened to the need of the transformational reforms that the new education policy is destined to bring to make us a Vishwa Guru. And I'm very happy that the indigenous knowledge system and the Indian knowledge system is a part of it. Professor Sajid Jamal and his team of resource persons are to be congratulated by each one of you. And I take this opportunity to congratulate him and his team, all the resource persons from the bottom of my heart. And I think all of you have benefited and you will vouch for it. And last but not the least, the test of the pudding lies in its eating. So if you come back to us for our further courses, for our future courses, especially these NEP orientation courses, we will be very glad. Please remember, we have taken your test just now. Your certificates are ready. They will be all issued by tomorrow. If there is any problem with your certificate, again, please get back to us. We will be happy to look into it. All the best to you. May God bless each one of you. And may we see each other once again. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Director ma'am. So, in fact, just I wanted to inform the participants that our next NEP orientation workshop will be starting from 10th November. 10th November to 20th November, we are having a workshop on academic leadership and management. And then we will start from 21st November to 30th November. That will be on research and development. So whole schedule is available on the website of our HRDC. You can see that. So with this, it's my duty to, in fact, pay my gratitude to all the people who were involved in this workshop and all those people who have made this workshop a very successful workshop. So definitely I will be starting with director ma'am, giving me full liberty every time she was available for me. She made everything available to me so that I may conduct the program smoothly. So thank you very much, director ma'am, for being with us and for giving everything that was required for us. I would like to pay my thanks to all my resource person. In fact, I called them at a very short notice. Some of them were very senior, some of them were very busy, but despite of that, in fact, they got time for me and they devoted time for me. They delivered very good lecture. They clarified your doubts and they gave satisfactory answer to your questions. So I'm highly grateful to all my resource person. I'm highly grateful to you people because without you, nothing could have been done. तो आपके बिना ये मेरा मानना है कि शिक्षकों के बिना कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है. किसी भी तरह की हम कोई बात करें या किसी भी तरह के हम प्रोग्रेस की बात करें तो बिना शिक्षकों के कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है. तो आप सब लोग हमसे जुड़े रहे. कुछ लोगों ने पर्सनली मुझे कॉल भी किया, कुछ समस्याएं जो आई उसकी तरफ मेरा ध्यान खींचा आपने, और आपने बहुत अच्छे सजेशन दिए, बहुत अच्छे से कोऑपरेशन दिया, टाइम से ज्वाइन किया, बातों को सुना. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, आई एम हाईली ग्रेटफुल टू द टेक्निकल टीम ऑफ UGC HRDC because you see this is online session, and in online session network and all those issues are there. So Mr. Mazhar Zaidi and his whole team, in fact, they were fully devoted and they gave us every cooperation. So I'm highly grateful to Mr. Mazhar Zaidi and his technical team for making this program successful. So thank you very much. I wish you all the best. And definitely, if you want to join any NEP orientation workshop on any other thing, definitely we will welcome. Definitely you can join. So thank you very much. And I have got the responses from 63 participants. So as Director Ma'am has said, hopefully tomorrow you will get the certificate, no issue. But still there will be any problem. If there is any problem related to certificate of that, you can definitely be in contact with us. Definitely we'll try to do the needful. So thank you very much once more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Thank you very much, sir.